While they scrolled Instagram, he studied soil pH and crop rotation on borrowed books. While they waited for jobs in AC offices, he was under the sun sewing what would, one day, feed not just his village, but the entire world. 3 years passed, his cassava yield tripled. His maize was so good, a local mill offered him a supply contract. He reinvested everything. He now registered the company as Hamza Agro. This time he now bought more lands and started training rural youth on modern farming techniques. Then came the big break. A German-based agri-tech firm visited Keita for a research. They tested his organic stone tomato and were impressed. They offered to partner with him and export his product to Europe. From there, the door burst open, exporting his produce to UK, UAE, and Canada. By 30, Hamza had owned 800 hectares of land across Nigeria, 2 processing plants, and employed 480 people. Some of them are his old classmates back then in university who once mocked him. He was interviewed by the channel's television and featured on CNN African Voices. At an agribusiness summit in Nairobi, Kenya, he walked on stage wearing abada, his traditional wear, and muddy boots, and the audience rose to their feet. He smiled and said, "I may have failed the class, but now I passed the lesson. You don't have to understand the formula to solve the problem. Some of us were born not to build machines, but to feed the people who build them." Years later, the lecturers that mocked him back then in the university stood at the reception of Hamza Agro Export headquarters, seeking support for a community farming initiative. He saw Hamza's portrait on the wall and froze for a moment. Hamza didn't gloat, but shook his hand warmly and said, "Sir, thank you. If you hadn't told me to go back to the village, I wouldn't have found my purpose." Sometimes failure is not the end, rather the beginning of a new direction. Not all brilliance shines in classroom. Some brilliance grows in the soil, under the sun, and feeds the nation. Thank you all so much for listening. See you in the next story.